Welcome back, makeup family. Today, spring has sprung and we're talking about the Pat McGrath Eye Ecstasy Trio. And she is spring. I love this beautiful springtime carton. I feel like all this makeup is coming out lately that is coming out during spring, but it has no reference, no actual reference in the product to spring. So I really love that with the packaging, she did this outer carton and it's so cute. So it's a 6-pan palette as the first part of the collection. And I'm not even gonna lie, when I first saw this, I even put out some of my Pat McGrath palettes just so that we could all glory in the beautiful packaging and luxurious packaging that is Pat McGrath normally. But when I took this out of the outer carton and I saw how basic and plain and just, I don't want to say cheap, but definitely not, let me tell you what my real thoughts were. When I first saw it, I thought, what in the double wide EBT shop hush is this, Mother Pat? And then I realized that what we've lost in the luxurious packaging, we have definitely gained in a more accessible price point and the same quality luxurious eyeshadows with unique finishes and colors. So I'm not mad. It's impossible for me to be mad at Mother Pat. This is the 6-pan palette and it is neutral, wearable, really, really beautiful eyeshadows that are very consistent with the quality of her formula. And I have all of her palettes and I don't regret purchasing this in the least. This trio, Eye Ecstasy, retailed for $48. And I think it's a very fair price for Pat McGrath quality. And she did not skimp on the quality. Let's jump into the swatches. It's what I'm wearing on my eye today. And it just produced a really nice sort of pink and dark brown look that I love. I think it turned out really nice. And I'm enjoying wearing the look. I do feel a little bit naked without my Fossies because I have on the fetishized mascara that's included in the trio. So let's jump into the swatches. First up, we've got this beautiful, now that's what a shimmer's what a shimmer's supposed to do. That's so beautiful. That is called Afterglow, which is a very appropriate name. Afterglow. Then we've got this gorgeous, beautiful red toned brown called Paradiso. Really beautiful. It's a matte. And then we've got this really glorious warm gold shimmer, and she's called Liquid Sun, which is very apt, very fitting. Next up, we've got the only color in the palette that is duplicated in her other palettes called Dark Matter. The rest of the shades are said to be unique to this palette and specific to this palette and not duplicated anywhere else in her other 11 palettes. So Dark Matter is her black that she includes in lots of her palettes. I think that's her standard black. No, actually it's not. This is the black that was included in her Dark Matter palette, I believe. But it's a very satiny black. It's not like a flat matte. This color right here is called Lacin. And that's beautiful. And then we've got this purpley tone here that is sort of, it's called Amnesia, by the way, Amnesia. And it's a really nice, and I love the shine that you get off of these. The finishes are incredible. The only true matte in the palette is this Paradiso, this red toned brown. And then the black is more of a satin formula black. These two right here are kind of a metallic formulation. And of course, you've got the two straight up shimmers, the glorious creamy, buttery, pigmented shimmers that we know and love from Pat McGrath. Love these. Liquid Sun, and Afterglow. Well, you know what? I'm gonna use Afterglow in my, I'm gonna use it as a highlight. That's pretty. Ooh. Go ahead, Afterglow. Ooh, that's so pretty. Do you see that? Oh, I like using, when I'm using an eyeshadow palette and I'm using a particular shadow, I love to go in and use that same shadow as a highlight. And sometimes, you know, it works. But with the Pat McGrath formula, it always works. I don't think I've had one yet where I went in and, you know, it didn't build up over powder well, or it caked up, or it didn't look good. And I think it's just a really good way of kind of, you know, coordinating with your eye look that you're wearing that day. But that works beautifully as a highlight. Oh, yes. Okay, now I'm about to go a little bananas with it. I'm going to stop. Step away from the highlighter, Angela. So this is really, really beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some comparison swatches of some slightly similar colors in other palettes. And you would think that with all of the other 11 palettes that there would be like the same colors, but they're really not. I picked out a couple that were the closest in the 6-pan palettes. And let's just take a look at some comparison swatches, shall we? Okay, so first up, we've got this light gold called Afterglow, what I just used as a highlight. So the closest thing that I could find to that color is this color here in the Bronze Ambition palette, this color. So let's go ahead and do that. First, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Afterglow. And then next to it, I'm gonna swatch, what is it called? Gold Rush. Ooh, it's totally different. Totally different. It may look similar, but it maybe this one, maybe this light color is actually closer to it. Oh yeah, that's actually very close to it. Here, let's try that. I'm gonna wipe these off so that I can have some, because I was doing quite a bit of comparison. So I'm gonna wipe all these off and give you a nice clean slate to work with. Okay. Now those are very similar. Okay, so the color that we're talking about is Afterglow. And it's a light, cool toned gold. Okay, that's Afterglow. Why did I have to put it across my... Girl. Let me fix the situation. Let me put it in the middle where you can actually see it. I'm gonna swatch up all my, these are tiny. These are like, just to give you a reference, a size reference. This is the Ecstasy and this is the standard 6-pan palette. It is like half the size. It is pretty tiny. But we're gonna go into the Bronze Ambition and go in with this very lightest gold color. And it's called Guilt Trip. And those are very close. Now, you can see that this has a warmer, peachier tone. This Guilt Trip from the Bronze Ambition palette, right there, that has a more peachy, warm tone than Afterglow, which is this one from the Ecstasy palette. Next, we're gonna go in with this Paradiso color. That's this glorious red tone brown in the Ecstasy palette. That's the Paradiso. And we're gonna go in with this warm tone brown in the Bronze Ambition palette called Bronze Struck. Oh no. It's called Throwing Shade. Throwing Shade. Again, very, very close. But you can see that this is more of a red tone brown, and this is more of a yellow tone brown. Red tone brown, more of a yellow tone brown. But it's very, very close. So that's 2 out of the Bronze Ambition. That's Afterglow, and then Guilt Trip from the Bronze Ambition. Okay, let's try this super warm gold called Liquid Sun. And that's like a beautiful, almost an orangey gold. So let's try this gold from the Bronze Ambition palette called Gold Rush. Similar, but very different. This is much deeper, much more orangey, and this is a lot lighter and a little bit more cool toned. But very similar. Then we've got this glorious purple tone color here. And what is she called? She's called Amnesia from the Ecstasy palette. That's Amnesia. And we're gonna try her next to this purple color from the La Vie en Rose. Called Euphoria. I don't have my little sleeve anymore. Okay, so this is this is Euphoria. This is a lot more like pink toned than Amnesia. And again, it's this color right here in the upper right hand corner of the La Vie en Rose palette. Then, of course, we've got the Dark Matter, which we already know. The other that is the exact same color that's in the black, the satiny black that's in the Dark Matter palette. I'm going to go ahead and swatch this one right here. And this one is called Les Sin. I don't really know of any colors that are very similar to this. The closest one that I can tell is maybe this orangey color here. Let's try this orangey color here in the Bronze Ambition palette. Let's just see. Nah, I mean vaguely similar, like similar in the way these two are similar, not really similar at all. That's very orangey. And this has really, it's more of a complicated shade. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is one of the reasons why I love the Pat McGrath. Like I have a pretty decent vocabulary. I can't really articulate what this color is because it's at least a duochrome, maybe even a triple chrome, I'm not sure. But it has so much like complexity and nuance to this color, and this is what I love about Pat McGrath shadow. I can't really tell you what the heck that is. It's kind of peachy, kind of pinky, and a little bit maybe purpley. I'm not really sure, but it's a really kind of complicated shade, and that's what you get when you get the Pat McGrath. And so while this is a lower price point, I really just don't think you can be mad at these gorgeous colors. And if we want to get to what I really, really adore about Pat McGrath, is the fact that you can actually double the amount of shades you have just by layering them. And they almost always layer perfectly and create a brand new, unique shade. So let's take these original swatches, right? These are the original 6 swatches. Let's take this, the color Afterglow that I used as highlighter. We're gonna take some of that and just put that, let's put it over this purpley color here called Amnesia. And now you've got some kind of a cool tone bronze that you didn't even have before. And that's what I love about her shadows. I mean, they are so buttery and they mix so well and they create unique shades. Let's try another. Let's try this gold over, let's try this really goldy gold. Let's try it over the black. Let's try it over the black. It just kind of gave it a little bit more depth. And now it almost looks like a green. Really, still a really beautiful color and something totally different than what we started with. I love me some Pat McGrath, and this is one of the reasons. And I love that you can do this and you can get creative and you can make new shades and mix and match to your heart's content with a price point that is much lower than what we're used to seeing. The normal larger palettes, which are $125, and then the normal 6-pan palettes, which are normally $55. And in this kit, we also get, in addition to this glorious little palette that could. That's what I'm gonna call this palette now, the little palette that could, because she did that. She really could. It's just beautiful. I love the colors that we created by mixing. There's just so much you can do, and I love to see that the quality, while the packaging has changed and it's downshifted, and there's a lower price point, the quality of the product inside, which ultimately that's what really, really matters. I'm a girl who likes the luxury packaging and the luxury product inside. But I don't regret buying this, not for a moment. I think it's lovely. I think the outer carton is lovely. I wish these sequins weren't all over my room right now. But it's just hard to find fault with Pat McGrath. The other 2 products in here are this Angel Dust Crystalline Prismatic Pigment. And I'm going to show you what she's all over the place. Go ahead and swatch her before I have this loose pigment and these loose sequins. Okay, so here we go. And you can see it is like diamonds. And it's sheer. It's like a pinky peach color as a base, and it is just sparkly like diamonds. Just beautiful. And you have to definitely use some glitter adhesive. I have this over on the center of each of my lids, and it really brightened up the look. It's really, really beautiful. I love that. And so, like in a normal Pat McGrath palette, in the larger palettes that are $125, you get a color like this that's pressed, a pressed glitter like this, that you can put over on top of the other shades to transform them, or use in your inner corner, or otherwise to make the look more special. I love that she included this in this kit. Look how that sparkles. That is so pretty, just like diamonds. I love that. Finally, the Fetish Eyes mascara I used rather than my normal Falsies today. And I liked the mascara very much. I'm not a mascara girl. I wear falsies. I feel like I have $2 lashes, not $30 lashes, and that's what around the price point, or $28 that this mascara retails for. I thought the mascara was fine. I used it in my eye look today, And like I said, I think that it looks really nice. It hasn't migrated. It hasn't, you know, gotten all over my eyes. So that's a good thing. If you like mascara, you might want to try this. I enjoyed it. I didn't have to use a bunch of coats to, you know, get it visible. But again, I wouldn't go out and purchase this for my eyes because I just don't have lashes like that. The Fetish Eyes mascara. I'll be glad when we can stop talking about that. I was so glad to get this palette because that's all Pat McGrath has been talking about. Like, the site has been talking about this mascara for months and months. And when you're not a mascara girl, but you are a Pat McGrath girl, then you feel very left out. And you're like, oh, okay. So the mascara, the prismatic pigment, and the 6-pan eyeshadow palette retail for $48, and this definitely gets my stamp of approval. It's a beautiful palette. It does exactly what you would expect Pat McGrath eyeshadow to do, and you cannot be mad at this gorgeousness. I also went in today with one of my favorite cool tone pink lipsticks in the color Modern Woman by Pat McGrath, and I should show you, if you haven't seen these gorgeous matte trans lipsticks, the pretty lips. It's so beautiful. I love this cute pink look that I did today. It really goes very nicely with the look. I went in with my Cicely L'Orchidee blush in the color L'Orchidee Rose. Get those cheeks nice and popping. And then my highlight, I use Afterglow, which is the lightest gold shade in that palette, as you can see, and it turned out really stunning. So this is a win. I'm really glad and relieved that it wasn't, you know, a bunch of repeat shades, and, you know, and even the downsized packaging did not ultimately disappoint because the quality of the product inside was just stunning. So please join my makeup family and subscribe if you haven't already, and like and comment below, and I look forward to seeing you on the very next one.